Good morning students, welcome to Royal Palace online classes. Now, in the last class I have discussed some competitive part with respect to significant figures. And in the same chapter, some topics which are deleted from the syllabus that are not covered in theory classes. So, in order to solve some problems, some questions, you need to understand the deleted portion also. So that's why in this present class, I will discuss some topics which are actually deleted from first PUC chemistry syllabus, so that it is easy for us to solve the remaining problems in this lesson. Okay, so the deleted portion is law of chemical combination and also another Dalton's atomic theory and some concept it is deleted. So let us see this first, then we will go into the next questions based on this topic. Now, in law of chemical combinations, we will study here mainly 4 laws. Another law is there, that is Avogadro law, that we will see after. So first law is law of conservation of mass. It is very much similar to law of conservation of energy. You know that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Similarly, this law states that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. What is the meaning of this sentence? Means, in chemistry, with respect to chemistry, if you talk, we start some reaction with some reactants, and after the reaction you will get the products. If I measure the amount of mass of the reactants before the reaction, you should get exactly the same mass of the products after the reaction. That means masses of the reactants and products before and after the reaction must be same. That means there should not be change in the mass either before the reaction or after the reaction. Mass remains constant. So it states that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. Okay, it can only change from reactants to products. You cannot you cannot create a new matter, or you cannot destroy the matter. Okay, next. Second law. Law of definite proportions. What does this law state? A given compound always contains same elements in the same proportion. Now, what is the meaning of this sentence means? If I take, for example, H2O. If I take, for example, water. You know that water is a compound, right? How water is formed? When hydrogen gas reacts with oxygen gas, you can get water. So what is formula of water? H2O. Now, you may consider the naturally available water, means either in a river or in an ocean or in the polar ice caps, wherever you take water, or you synthesize water in the chemistry lab by mixing H2 gas with oxygen gas at particular temperature. Then also you will get water, right? Whether you got the water from natural source or you synthesized artificially in the lab, it always contains same elements in same proportion. Means whether you bring from water from earth or water from Mars, anywhere you bring water, water should contain same elements in the fixed proportion. That means water contains H2O, that is 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen. That is, here 2 parts of hydrogen is present and 1 part of oxygen is present in water. No matter you bring that water from river, or you bring it from somewhere else, or you synthesize in the lab, what should be there? The elements must be fixed in their ratio in a given compound. That is law of definite proportions. Okay? So what does this law state? A given compound always contains same elements in same proportion. So another example you can consider HCl, hydrogen chloride. You know that in the stomach, HCl, gas, in the gastric juice, HCl is present, hydrochloric acid is present. Whether you take hydrochloric acid from gastric juice or whether you synthesize hydrochloric acid by H2 gas and Cl2 gas in the lab, there is no change in the compound. What is there? One hydrogen atom, one chlorine atom must be there. That is what we are saying. Definite proportions means it should contain compulsorily fixed elements in the fixed proportion. Same elements in the same proportion. That is second. This is law of definite proportion. Next one we have is law of multiple proportions. Now what is law of multiple proportions means? If two elements can combine to form more than one compound, the mass of one element that combines with a fixed mass of the other element are in the ratio of small whole numbers or simple ratios. Now to understand this statement, I would like to take example of water and hydrogen peroxide. Water and hydrogen peroxide. What is the formula of water? H2O. What is the formula of hydrogen peroxide? Formula of hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. Now, here you see, what is hydrogen you have taken? Hydrogen, two hydrogen atoms. One hydrogen atom, if I take 1 gram, I will consider two hydrogen atoms 2 grams. Here also two hydrogen atoms, that is 2 grams. Let us take like that. Assume it is 2 grams. And here one oxygen atom. You know that atomic weight of oxygen is how much? 16. One atom of oxygen is 16. Right or not? Here two atoms of oxygen, 32. Two oxygen atoms, 32. Now, hydrogen and oxygen can react with each other to form more than one compound. That is, water is also formed by reaction of hydrogen element and oxygen element. Hydrogen peroxide is also formed by the reaction of hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen peroxide also. That means hydrogen and oxygen can react to form more than one compound. One compound is water, other compound is hydrogen peroxide. So, if any two elements can react to form more than one compound, then the mass of the other element which react with fixed mass of the other element will always be in simple ratio. That means in water it is 16 grams of oxygen, in hydrogen peroxide it is 32 grams. That means what is the ratio of oxygen if I compare with water to that of the hydrogen peroxide? Ratio of oxygen will be 1:2, because 16 and this is 32, 1 and 2. So if I take fixed mass of hydrogen, what is the ratio of oxygen in it, in these two products? 1:2. Is it a simple ratio? Yes, it is simple ratio. That is what the meaning of the law of multiple proportion. If two elements can combine to form more than one compound, then the mass of one element that combines with the fixed mass of the other hydrogen and oxygen can react together to form more than one compound, water and hydrogen peroxide. And the mass of the oxygen that react with the fixed mass of hydrogen is in the simple ratio. That is law of multiple proportion. Next, Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volume. When gases combine or produce in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio by volume, provided all gases are at same temperature and pressure. Now, this law is similar to that of the multiple proportion only. That is, when gases are combined or produced in any chemical reaction, okay, similar to like now you consider like gases, H2 gas, oxygen gas only you consider. In terms of volumes we are saying this, okay. So if I take grams, then it is a proportion you will call. But in this we are saying in terms of volume. Volumes means you take either mLs or liters, right? So when gases combine or produce in any chemical reaction, how do they react or they combine? In simple ratio by volume. In simple ratio by volume. I can say if hydrogen volume is fixed, then oxygen volume reacting with hydrogen is again simple ratio. Okay, so 1:2 ratio. That is provided. This is when it will the condition provided that all the gases are at the same temperature and pressure. Means the reaction should continue at a constant temperature and pressure. Then the masses of the gases or the volumes of the gases that react with each other or which are produced in the reaction are in simple ratio by volume. This is about law of gaseous volume. Now, next law is Avogadro's law. Equal volume of gases at the same temperature and pressure contains equal number of molecules. You know this about Avogadro number. What is Avogadro number? That 1 mole of any gas at STP carries how many atoms or molecules? It carries 6.022 into 23, 10 raised to 23 molecules or atoms. That is fixed number of molecules or equal number of molecules they contain at STP. So if you take equal volumes of gases at STP, then they contain equal number of molecules. As you know, according to Avogadro number also. That is Avogadro number is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules. So 22.4 liters of any gas contains how many molecules? It contains 6.022 into the power of 23 molecules. Next, after that, one of the deleted portion is Dalton's atomic theory. Now let us see some postulates of this theory. Matter consists of indivisible atoms. Now you know that all the matter, whatever it is, wood, steel, iron, whatever the different types of matter, all are made up of atoms. So matter consists of indivisible atoms. Next, all the atoms of a given element have identical properties including identical mass. Meaning is what? If you take any element, hydrogen. In hydrogen, all the hydrogen atoms will have same properties. In oxygen, all the oxygen atoms have same properties. Identical masses also same. But atoms of different elements differ in the masses. So they have different properties also. They differ in the mass also, weight also. For example, if I compare mass of hydrogen atom with hydrogen oxygen atom, automatically the masses are different. So atoms of different elements are different. Okay? Right. Compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio. So in definite proportions we have seen, if any two or any three gases or different elements, when they combine, what they form? They form compounds. Example, water. Water is a compound which is formed from hydrogen and oxygen element. Example, any acid H2SO4, which is formed by the elements hydrogen, sulfur, oxygen. So they are in fixed ratio. They combine in fixed ratio. Compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio. Next point. Chemical reactions involve reorganization of atoms. Meaning is what? If, for example, if I write like this, HCl plus NaOH, it is a chemical reaction, acid-base, neutralization. What you will get? NaCl and water. NaCl and water. So how this chemical reaction is taking place? By reorganizing atoms. Okay, that is H plus is reorganized with OH minus, Na plus is reorganized with NaCl. So chemical reactions are nothing but reorganization, rearrangement of the atoms. Okay. Next. Atoms can neither be created nor destroyed during any chemical reaction. That is, you are doing any chemical reaction, then just only exchange of atoms or ions takes place. But completely destroy any atom or any new atom is produced? No. No new element is produced or no element is destroyed. That is, atoms are neither created nor destroyed. They just rearrange in a reaction. And one of the topics you need to remember in this again is basic units. We have 7 basic units: length, mass, time, temperature, amount of substance, current, and luminous intensity. Okay. Length is measured in meters. SI units, especially if I talk meters. Okay. Mass is measured in kgs. Time is measured in seconds. Temperature is measured in kelvins. Amount of substance is measured in moles. Okay, mole. Current is measured in amperes. Okay. Luminous intensity is measured in unit candela, CD. So these are the 7 basic units, okay, which are there in measuring any quantity. And other than these 7, if you take any other measurements, units, those are called as derived units. Why they are called derived? Means they are obtained from basic units. How is, for example, area. Area is measured as L into L, right? Or I can write L square, length square, length into breadth. You can take like that. Okay. So L square means L unit is meter. Means meter into meter will be meter square, which is derived from the length. Similarly, volume means A cube or L cube. I can take volume of a cube, A cube. What is length there? Again meter. Meter into meter, it will become meter cube. Again this is a derived unit from length. Density means what? Density formula is mass by volume. Density formula is mass by volume. Mass by volume means what are the units of mass? Mass units are kgs. Volume unit is what? Volume unit is meter cube. That means mass means here kg, volume is meter cube. Kg per meter cube is a derived unit from mass and volume for density. So there are 7 basic units and n number of derived units. 7 basic units are length, mass, time, temperature, amount of substance, current, luminous intensity. What is the units of this one? Length is measured in meters, SI unit. Mass in kgs, time in seconds, temperature in kelvins, amount of substance in moles, current in amperes, and luminous intensity with respect to light it is 10. And there are many derived units like velocity, acceleration, speed, other different derived units are also there. Example, area. Area means length into breadth or L square. Okay, side square. So that is meter square. L cube, meter cube. Mass by volume, kg per meter cube. So this is about the basic units and derived units. And these are all the deleted portion what I have covered right now. In the next session, we will be solving problems on this part. Okay, thank you.